Hi Flosstube, I'm Misty Purcell. Welcome to my channel. Today is Sunday the 5th of May, so happy not Mexican Independence Day to you. May 5th is not Mexican Independence Day if you didn't know that. It commemorates the Battle of Puebla, which had to do with a battle between Mexico and France. Yeah, it was an important battle, but it's a long story. I can give you a history lesson if you want, but I'm not sure if you're interested. Okay, so how have you been? I have been good. It's been really busy, caffeinating with my kitty. So this was my first week of no classes, and I was remarkably busy for not having any classes. I don't know how that happened. I did have to go into work on Wednesday for office hours, and I attended a training. And I don't know, I've just been busy, but my birthday was awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for the great birthday wishes. I really appreciated it. It was so nice reading your comments. I had a great birthday. I mostly stitched and tried to not work or go anywhere, except in the evening I did go to Hobby Lobby. And then we went out to dinner at the haunted Jean Bonnet Tavern in Bedford, Pennsylvania, which was really fun. I haven't seen any ghosts there, but it's supposed to be haunted. So I really enjoyed reading your comments on my last video regarding how many whips are too many. And you gave me a lot to think about. So I've read through all the comments and I'm still working on replying to them. But it was just fascinating to read different people's, how different people think about whips. And it really ranged. If you haven't read through the comments and you're interested, you might want to take a look, because it's just fascinating seeing how different people think about their whips. So it kind of ranged from people who also find, more than a few whips to be stressful, similar to me, and people who it just doesn't stress them out, maybe because they're just trying to seize the day, and it doesn't really feel any different to them, to have a lot of whips or not. So it's just, they're just enjoying themselves. And that was the main thing, is that the people who had a lot of whips were enjoying their whips. And I think that was really cool, and I really read some amazing stories from people about why they enjoyed their whips. So it was really great. So it gave me a lot to think about, and I think that I'm willing to try having more whips and see how I do. So I really like starting things and planning projects, but if I had to start a lot of things in order, like a more traditional Mania, I don't think I would enjoy it as much. I think I would get tired from starting so much. So when I start something, I love working on it and I want to keep going. And so I was just thinking that instead of that maybe what I need to do, I feel like I'm being very inarticulate today. Maybe what I need to do is just allow myself to start things at times when I'm really anxious to start something because I'm excited about it, or I'm needing a break. That would be a time when maybe I could have more whips and just see how that goes. So that's what my plan is. I'm going to, when I'm ready to start something new, when I'm wanting to start something new, if there's something I'm excited about, then I'll try starting something new, and I'll see how I do. So there was a comment, a few people mentioned being a process versus product stitcher, which of course that conversation goes on in all of the crafts. And I think for me, I am both. Probably most people are both. I don't know if you can really be one or the other. So I think that I do love having finishes as much as I love starting things. I think I love finishing things. There's a sense of accomplishment, which is of course short-lived because I'm like, next. But I really like finishing things, and there's certain projects that I want really badly that I'm willing to slog through, even though they might not be as fun as other projects. having said that, like a torturous project wouldn't happen for me, and I've abandoned many a quilt project for that reason, things that I thought would be so cool, and then the actual process of making that kind of quilt, like a cathedral window, ugh. Maybe there's a better way than the method I tried, but that was one of those like abandoned quickly kind of things. So, and I also am not necessarily happy just stitching anything. So it's not just the process of, oh, I just want to be stitching. Like I have to really like what I'm stitching. If I'm just like, I wouldn't be happy just stitching white indefinitely. So I'd say it's process and product for me. I like both. So, yeah, I really appreciate all of you who took the time to comment and give me your thoughts on that. And you just gave me a lot to think about, and I really appreciate that. So, okay. I have a finish. I'm sure you can guess what I finished if you've been watching lately. I finished Sally Spencer. So this stitch along started, I want to say it was May 5th of last year, and I actually didn't join in until May 21st because I tried to not start it for quite a while. But then the little bird and the sooner begun, sooner done saying just, you know, drew me in. I started seeing people stitching it and I couldn't resist any longer. So I joined in a little bit later in May. And then I worked on it for a while and then put it away for pretty much the entire school year, I think, and then got it back out just recently. So I subbed some colors. I guess I can just show you and explain that. Here she is, and she's gorgeous. I'm super, super happy with how she turned out. So I used Finley Gold, is that right? I made a note. Yes, Classic Colorworks Finley Gold for the buttermilk, I think is what it was originally, because it wasn't going to show up on the espresso color. And then for the black, I used wrought iron instead of whatever the called for black was. I went for something that was a little bit bluer. And then I changed some things. I think I made, did I change? Maybe I didn't change it there. I feel like I changed sometimes what letters were supposed to be what colors, but I could be making that up. I don't know. I can't remember now what I did originally. The letters, so my thoughts on this are like, I love this. And in a way it's very me, and in a way it's not me. I like how whimsical it is. I think what I mean when I say it's not me is probably if I hadn't seen people stitching it, if there hadn't been a stitch along, I don't know if I ever would have chosen to stitch this. Mainly because I guess of the pattern photo. There's probably more to it than that. I'm not sure. I can't articulate what I want to say about it. But I love it. It's just I probably just wouldn't have stitched it. And I'm glad I did. The letters, I really had a hard time stitching them, and I didn't enjoy doing the letters at all. But I got through them. And the thing that was hard, there were a couple of things that were hard for me about the sampler, and one was that I started off over the wrong thread on the linen, and so then I kept making mistakes because I kept missing where the X should go. And so eventually I just fixed it. Like, I mean, I didn't go back. I just started putting the X's where they should have been. I don't know. I thought I was starting over the correct linen thread, but I wasn't. And so I should have busted out the magnifying glass, I guess, to be sure. Even when I got myself on track, I screwed up all over the place. I mean, honestly, I don't know why Sally and I struggled so much, but like one of these urns is taller than the other by like a row. Threw things off. I don't know. There's other issues, but you can't tell. And I didn't fix the urn because I'm like, you know what? This is a very free-form thing. It's not going to matter. And so the thing that I loved about this actually was that it didn't matter. And I just kind of free-formed like the initials, and I didn't like try to worry about so much how perfect they were or where they went. And so that was really kind of liberating. I enjoyed that. I did chart out my name. Everything else I just kind of looked where it should go approximately and went with it. I'm really happy with how my name turned out. I used the same Y in Sally, and the S is mostly the same. I think I just made it like one square shorter, and then I just charted out my M-I and the T and my last name using the same letters and kind of figured out how they'd fit in here. And I like how my name turned out a lot. So I went through and I kind of kept track of people I remembered who'd been doing the stitch along. I'm sure I'm missing people, but the people I could remember, I put in their initials. So my thoughts on this are like, I'm so glad I did it and I love it and it's beautiful and I cannot wait. As soon as I finished stitching it, I ran right down to the frame shop and I got, I ordered a frame. So in a few weeks I should have it and then I'll have it hanging up. And so I'm totally glad I did it and it was a worthwhile experience, even though it was frustrating. So I don't know what lesson I take away from that, except that it was interesting. It was an interesting experience and it would be interesting to do more freeform stitching because I've never really done that before in cross stitch, but I was kind of able to with this. So I like the kind of primitive, I guess I would call it. I'm never quite sure what primitive even means in a way. But the sort of primitive look to it, or folk art maybe look to it. So I'm super pleased, and I waited until very last. The last thing I did was the year, just in case I would, you know, somehow curse myself. So yeah, I'm super happy with how it turned out, and I just can't wait to stare at it all the time. And I've been reminding myself over and over again, when there's something I don't want to do, the sooner begun, sooner done. So yay. That's stitched on 40 count espresso by R&R Reproductions. I picked out the floss last April when I was at Lancaster, when I was in Lancaster, meeting up with Jan Hicks and Liz and Deb Country Stitchers. So it reminds me of them when I look at it or was working on it. Reminds me of our meetup, which is really cool. Nice memory associated with it. So I'll be passing the chart on to Cindy. She was commenting on it that she would like to stitch it, so I'm going to be sending that along to her. Okay, so whips. Just in the nick of time, as in this morning, I finally sat down and worked on the next block in the American flag quilt sampler. So I'll show you that sort of soon. Excuse me. Okay. So this was really kind of not, I didn't like this block for most of the time I was stitching it. And then once I got close to being done, I was like, oh, that looks really good. Now I can stop. You know, it just didn't look like anything. So Rhode Island is what I just finished. And I changed the color. The heart color was supposed to be pink. So anywhere that you see light blue, that was supposed to be light pink, but I wasn't feeling the light pink. So I used light blue instead. And in the center part of the star, it's blue, light blue, dark blue, and green. And some of the triangles weren't supposed to have the dark green, but it just worked better for me. I tried doing it a different way, the way it was called for in the chart, and it didn't look right for me, so I changed it. It's hard to explain. But yay. So there's just one left in the 13 colony section, which isn't a colony. It's just going to be like the top star there that's kind of multicolored. There'll be another one like that down at the bottom corner. And then I'll start doing the first, I'll keep working across where the red section is to do the first row, the, what does it say, One Nation, I think. So I was super happy to get that done. And Jan Hicks had suggested I try to just at least rotate this one day a week. So I'm gonna at least do that for now and see how that goes. I thought that was a good suggestion. And then let's talk about my birthday start. So my birthday was Tuesday, April 30th, And as I've said 1,000,000 times, and I'll say it again, I was starting this, Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. It's everything I thought it would be and more. I'm enjoying it so much. It's hard to put down, which is part of why the flag got like no love this week. And the only reason Sally got any love is because she was close to being done. It is so, so pretty. I love it. So I'm stitching this on 40 count macchiato, and I'm using mostly the called for threads. The orange, it calls for pumpkin, and when I had purchased the floss, they didn't have pumpkin, and so I subbed this color, which is Gentle Art Toffee. Oh my gosh, I love this color. I think it might go into one of my upcoming designs because I love it so much. It's just such a good color. Ugh. This is such a good design. I mean, I love this so much that I want to marry it. Oh, it's so good. That border, that viney border, takes forever to stitch. So I'm just kind of spacing it out with a little bit of like stitching in the middle, and then I stitch on the border, and then that seems to break it up pretty well. And it's two different shades. It's Garden Gate and Onyx. And gosh, I love Garden Gate. I know Amy of Amy Loves Toads, she pulled hers back out to stitch with me, and she was saying how she really likes Garden Gate, and I agree. It's an awesome color. So this is just checking all of my boxes. Did I need to say anything else about that? I don't think so. Feel free to join in if you'd like to pull yours back out, or if you want to start. I'm not going to be finishing anytime soon. Okay, so plans. Now that I've finished Sally Spencer, there's an opening in the whip rotation. And I was debating what to do about Button Up, as you'll recall. And I think for right now, I am going to put it aside. And that is mainly because I could push through on it, but I feel like I wouldn't enjoy it. And if I wait a little while, I think I could enjoy it more. And since the point of this is, everyone was reminding me, and thank you for reminding me that the point of this is for me to enjoy stitching. Maybe I should just, if I'm not feeling it right now, I should just not stitch snow. And it's not that like I can't stitch out of season, clearly, because I'm stitching Halloween right now. And since I'm designing, I'm always stitching out of season now. It's just that I'm tired of snow. Like, I'm really tired of snow. And there's a lot of snow in that design. So January, when I was stitching January, that actually didn't have very much snow, and that one wasn't bad, but Button Up has a lot of snow. So it can be on hiatus for a little bit and then come back. So what I'm starting, that was a long way to say that what I'm starting next is Where There Are Bees. And so last spring I stitched Rabbit Run. And so Where There Are Bees will be the companion piece to this. And what I found when I stitched this last year is that the colors were a bit more subdued than I was expecting. It's not that the covers exactly, it's not like it's super misleading or anything. It's just like lighter than what I thought it would be. This is stitched on 40 count, and I was just testing out. Now obviously it wouldn't be quite so light if I had done it on like 32, but I had brightened up the colors kind of based on what I saw here. And so I'll show you what I did and then what I'm thinking of doing, because I had a few people ask me what colors I used and what colors I was planning to use, and so this is kind of answering that question. It is answering that question. It's not kind of answering it. It is answering it. Okay, so let me get Rabbit Run ready to show you. And Rabbit Run was stitched on 32 count Weeks linen, like the colorway is linen. And so because I want them to be the same, I want them, well, mostly the same, I'm going to also stitch Where There Are Bees on the same fabric. So this is Rabbit Run, and with my brighter colors. So the colors that I used, and I'll also put them below the video in the comments in the description, were 813, 3328, 838, 3820, and 3364. So that's what I used for Rabbit Run. And now what I'm thinking of for where there are bees, I'm going to use the same brown for sure. There's no green in it. I might use 783. It's a little bit more golden. Or I could use both of them, but I'm inclined to maybe go a little bit more golden. And the 813, I'm considering instead going a little bit darker. I'm thinking 334. Possibly. And then I might go a little bit lighter pink than 3328. The color that I wanted to check on, I don't actually have in my stash. I was looking at the color card, and of course I don't have it. So I'll have to run to Michael's to get it. I need to find the holes in my DMC collection and fill them up the next time there's some kind of a sale, because this is happening to me a lot and it's annoying. So anyway, that's what my thoughts are. I'll probably start this, I think I will start this next week. That's my most, like, I want to get to a point where I'm a little bit farther along on Away We Ride, but sometime next week I'll start this. And I'm also thinking of maybe 1 or 2 other starts this month, but we'll see how things go. I'll just see how I'm feeling. So, okay, I received many lovely cards and some gifts, and I wanted to share them. So I'm going to get those. Okay, so first, I had mentioned that I had been looking for the Spooky Halloween mantle by Bent Creek, and Trish sent that to me. So, I love it so much. Why are they so cute? Trish made this card. Isn't that amazing? And it flips up. Oops. Wow. Awesome. Thank you, Trish. I sent Trish some fabric. Hopefully she will enjoy stitching on it. That was our exchange. Helen sent me an adorable card, and she passed the stash to me because I had been commenting on the cuteness of this, and she just finished it, so she sent this to me. And some awesome pins. I'm all about bling, Helen. Really cool bag. And then she made me a project bag. And look at that pretty, oops, decorative stitch that she did with her sewing machine. So nice. Perfect for this time of year. I'm thinking that Where There Are Bees needs to go in this bag. So thank you, Helen. Okay, and I also received this card from Kaylee and some very important Prairie Schooler Santa colors, so she understands my stitching needs. Thank you, Kaylee. Jen, she's Spooneroony Stitcher, sent me a birthday card and an awesome Charlie Harper Cardinal, and my favorite red, Turkish red. Thank you, Jen. I love Charlie Harper so much, and I don't know, I'm thinking about sewing a Charlie Harper bag this summer. We'll see. I have big plans, but you know how it is. Cindy of Cindy's Cross Stitch sent me this lovely card, and a Prairie Schooler Santa, which probably would use these colors. Thank you, Cindy. Leah Noel, she's Aviatrix Stitcher, sent me this beautiful card with the kitty on it. Isn't that amazing? And she said that she tried to send it in the mail with extra postage, and then they said it was like illegal to send this size card, so her husband had to package it in a different envelope to send it to me. So thank you, Leah Noel, for all of your efforts to get this card to me. It's beautiful. And thank you for the encouragement. Robin sent me this cute little card. Robin is Magnolia Baby Creates. And awesome needle minders, which are very appropriate because I love Halloween and coffee. And she sent me some other coffee, another coffee related item. And she sent me a Stitch Mania journal. I've been kind of afraid to use it, to be totally honest, because I don't know, I have weird things about writing in books, but I know that's the point. So I might have to like go back in and add in the information because this is really cool. And the thing I like about it though, is even though it says 2019, like I can just keep using this for years and put in whatever I'm working on. So I'll have to add Away We Ride. And I think just whatever I've been working on. So Sally Spencer I worked on for Mania. I just got it done. And then the flag, the giant flag, which I never mentioned is by Rosewood Manor, but if you've been watching me, you know that. I'm a little discombobulated today. It's just been one of those kind of days. Thank you, Robin. Then Melanie sent me this card, and so it's like all my cards are on this ledge across from me at the in my kitchen. There's a ledge between the living room and the kitchen, and then my dining room table is right there. So this is on the ledge, and it's staring at me from across the table, and so I just feel like a cat's looking at me as I'm eating. She sent me these beautiful scissors. This is my first pair. I think you pronounce it Ganger. Anyway, I've not owned a pair before, so I am super excited to try these. I couldn't take them out of the packaging yet till I showed them, but now I'm allowed to use them. And look at this cute needle minder. I love it. And then she also passed the stash on to me. I love Artful Offerings so much. This is so cute. So thank you, Melanie. And last but not least is Sue. Susie Reno sent me some birthday awesomeness, starting with a Birds of a Feather card. And I like this Fat Eight's Birthday Brights. And so she picked these out for me. She thought that I could use them in my Halo quilt. So that's awesome. So in any and all of my quilts that I incorporate them in, I will think of you, Sue. And then she sent me an LED light, which is great if you have a Juki sewing machine, because the Juki sewing machine has crap lighting. So if you have a Juki, get yourself an LED light because you need it. Trust me, you need it. And then Sue made me this amazing box. Watch what it does. It does that. It's origami, fabric origami. I can't remember the pattern name. It's by Anila Hoy. But the pattern name is escaping me. But I recognized it as soon as I opened it. And she picked out this fabric because it reminds her of the Gypsy Wife quilt, which she's working on and is one that I would like to do one day. But she was telling me that it was an Anila Hoy pattern, but I recognized it because I've followed Anila Hoy for years on her blog, and I've done one of her patterns. And so, of course, we would like the same stuff because we have the same taste, Sue and I. So this is awesome. Thank you, Sue. I love this. And now I kind of want to make one. And I kind of just want to do this all day. So that's awesome. Thank you to everyone for your thoughtfulness and your generosity. If next time I receive a gift, I think what I will do is I'll just share it. I'll just assume it's okay for me to share a gift if you send me a gift, unless you tell me not to. Just to save some time in the future of me asking people. I think it would just be easier if I just assume it's okay unless you tell me. So if you ever send me a gift and you don't want to have me let people know that you sent it to me, or you don't want me to share it at all, just let me know. Likewise, if I ever send you a gift, I'm just gonna tell you, you are free to share it wherever you want. You have my blessing. Acquisitions. I have one acquisition in addition to the spooky mantle that Trish sent me. And that is the berry basket by Jenny. Jenny is Homestitchness on Instagram and on Etsy. And I had watched her post a picture of this new design she was working on, and it's a basket with strawberries and strawberry flowers. And then on top of the basket are 2 cardinals perched, a male and a female cardinal. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's cute. And I was just kind of waiting for when she would publish the design, and she published it on my birthday. So I took that as a sign that it, it was meant to be for me. And I thanked her for releasing it on my birthday, and I purchased it. And the thing that I thought was extra cool was, like, I love the cardinals, but I was thinking how, because of me associating robins with spring, even though there are cardinals here, like, during spring too, that I was thinking, like, oh, it would look really cool if I put a robin on the top. And then as I'm, like, scrolling through the pattern, because the PDF, she has robins in there too. So, and then there's one other kind of bird. So I'm going to insert a picture here of the design so that you can see it. And so I think I'm probably going to stitch it with the robins. And I'll link Jenny's shop below so that if you'd like to check that out, you can. It's a great design. So congrats, Jenny, on your awesome design. Shop talk, just I've got some new stuff on the way. So, I'll be adding some charts pretty soon to the shop. And update will be a little under 2 weeks with my next fabric and the design release. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I think that's all I have for today. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope your Mania is awesome, however you're participating. And I will be back in a week. Take care. Bye-bye.